You likely know someone like this. They're in their 50s or 60s, haven't carried debt in decades, and live completely under the radar. Whenever a major expense arises, the liquidity is already there. This financial piece often remains invisible because most people are distracted by the persona of the dreamer. They spend years waiting for a concept that feels prestigious, a software startup or a high-end brand that sounds impressive in a social setting. While the dreamer waits for prestige, they pay a high price for inaction. Between unused software subscriptions and the cost of maintaining a performative lifestyle, they can easily burn through $500 a month. Over several years, that's capital that could have been the seed money for a physical asset. Choosing social standing over practical execution stalls the building of a financial base. If the goal is independence, the cool factor of the business is usually the first thing that needs to be sacrificed. While high-growth startups get the most attention, they also carry the highest risk. In contrast, the most mundane service businesses in the country show a statistical resilience that's almost impossible to find in the tech world. The data reveals a massive gap. While nearly half of all new businesses close within 5 years, laundromats have a success rate of 94.8% over that same period. For every 100 people who start one, 95 are still generating revenue 5 years later. A 95% survival rate suggests these industries are structurally insulated against the volatility that sinks new ventures. They aren't just stable, they solve problems that people cannot afford to ignore. Consider the doer. They don't look for venture capital. They buy a professional pressure washer and a truck. They start by cleaning driveways, taking a few $1,000s in equipment and turning it into immediate cash flow. This model works because it solves a permanent nuisance. Driveways get dirty, trash accumulates, and pests return. These are foundational problems that regenerate on a predictable cycle, creating an automatic demand for repeat service. Success here doesn't require a breakthrough in technology. It relies entirely on the consistent execution of tasks that are too labor-intensive for the average homeowner to do themselves. One job in a neighborhood usually leads to the next as neighbors see the results. Within a few months, a single technician can build a route of 30 or 40 recurring seasonal contracts. This network of local clients forms a moat, making your revenue highly resistant to broader economic shifts. Other boring businesses succeed by monetizing simple human habits and the need for extra space, specifically self-storage. The scale is often underestimated. There are now more self-storage facilities in the United States than McDonald's and Starbucks locations combined. The business thrives on inertia. Once a customer moves their belongings into a unit and pays the first month's rent, they often continue paying for years, simply because the effort of moving out is higher than the monthly cost of staying. When you monetize a passive habit like this, you create one of the most low-maintenance forms of recurring revenue available in any industry. You can escalate this further by adding a modern convenience layer to these traditional services, effectively modernizing the logistics of a boring business. Take the wash and fold delivery model. You don't buy the machines or pay the rent on a laundromat. You act as the bridge, managing the pickup and delivery between the customer and an existing facility. This allows for margins between 30 and 40% because your overhead is limited to logistics and customer service. You are charging a premium for time, which is the one thing your customers are most willing to pay for. By focusing on the convenience layer, you gain the ability to scale a service business without the heavy capital requirements of owning the underlying infrastructure. When we look at the results after 5 years, the difference between the dreamer and the doer is purely a matter of math. The dreamer, waiting for a perfect idea, lost over $36,000 to minor lifestyle drains and unused services. That's capital providing zero return. The doer took that same amount and put it into equipment. Their green line shows the result, a diversified, paying income. The 5-year gap between a potential idea and a functioning local business creates a massive wealth disparity. The cost of waiting for perfection is consistently higher than the cost of starting a simple service. Wealth is the absence of financial fear. It is the security of knowing your income is tied to solving fundamental problems rather than the approval of a single employer. Owning a business handling trash, pests, or laundry provides long-term insulation against economic shifts. These needs don't vanish during a recession. They become more essential. Look at your local area this weekend and find one problem that people are currently paying to solve. Whether it's a dirty pool or an unpainted parking lot, the opportunity is usually right in front of you. Financial freedom is available to anyone willing to do the unglamorous work that others avoid. If this perspective helped you, subscribe and share this with someone who is still waiting for their perfect idea. It's time to start.